to your spot, and then we'll... All right, we're going to get started. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law, I wish to state that on June the 9th, 2017, the notice of this meeting of the Upper Township Committee was posted on the official Township Bulletin Board, mailed to the Cape May County Gazette, the Atlantic City Press, the Ocean City Sentinel, Ledger, the Herald Times, and filed with the Township Clerk. Tonight's meeting is being video recorded up until the closed session portion of this meeting and will be available on UTTV Channel 97 and on the Upper Township website. I hereby direct that this announcement be made a part of the minutes of this meeting. I would ask all to rise for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Joanne, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Coggins?
Here.
Mr. Corson?
Present.
Mr. Young?
Here.
Mayor Palumbo?
Here. I have that on my left. Would someone like to make an approval of the minutes from May 30th, both the regular and closed session minutes?
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Scott, what do you have for us this evening?
A few things, Mr. Mayor, from administration. First, a few noteworthy projects that we completed with Public Works that had the public safety oriented accomplishment as far as the township is concerned. One at West Catherine and Stagecoach, our Public Works Department installed solar stop signs. They are illuminated at night, and they've had some incidents there over the years through inattention and whatnot for those intersections. Committeeman Barr had brought it to my attention based on some of the neighbors in that particular area around that intersection, and we completed that project. If you look, they are very well illuminated at night. They really stand.
They are bright.
Yeah.
I've seen them, they really
Yeah.
stand.
That hopefully will correct the problem. The other is, these are several photos which was brought to committee's attention by the public again. This is for our Upper Township pit. These pictures depict the completed signage that was placed there to identify our pit as a trespassing area for any of the motorbikes and ATVs that have gone there in the past. We're almost about 80–85% complete with around the pit with the guardrails and things of that we're placing up there to preclude any type of that activity in our yard, and then subsequently over into the neighboring pit area of farms. Paul identified a couple spots today that we're going to take a better look at, another local public works, and add some guardrail locations to, once again, preclude any type of that activity going on. I think Paul might have some information from the.
Yeah, if I could just add on to what Scott did. I've been speaking with George Harms over the last 2 weeks. They've actually been out there. That large pile of dirt that's been out there, they actually lowered that significantly. So instead of it being probably a 50 or 60 foot high hill, it's probably only like a 10 foot high, very large mound. So it's really nothing more than just a ride up and down. I did talk to Mr. Graves this morning. He was very appreciative of the different efforts we've been doing, and he said that there's still some motorcycles out there. That's why I picked out there today just to walk a couple spots, and Scott and I did talk just to fine tune where we can try to close up some of the access points out there. But I think we're between us and we're continuing to make an effort to try to reduce the amount of ATV and motorcycle access that's out.
And I wanted to thank the Sentinel Ledger for helping us to get the educational information out as far as the traffic perspective and the trespassing laws from the New Jersey State Police perspective and our local ordinances that govern that particular area. They did a nice job in the article several weeks ago. They also helped us out recently with the 911 So again, from an educational standpoint for the public, so that they understand, it's very important that when there's an emergency call, emergency medical call, that you specifically identify the municipality that you're in, especially when it comes to Upper Township, or also identifying that you're calling from Upper Township when you make these calls. I know oftentimes it's very difficult because of the situation that the caller may be in, but it's very important when it comes to the 911 aspect of things. A couple other real quick things that we had, our Emergency Management Agency Assistance Grant that has been processed for 2017. That'll entitle us to somewhere around $10,000, maybe a little bit more for 2017. We're a year behind because of Hurricane Sandy, or I should say the state is, because of Hurricane Sandy that kind of put us behind. You would think that 2017 would have already been obtained. I don't even think the monies for I know for 2016 have not been received yet. We're entitled to them, but they still have not been received. So we're through that stage. Another thing that we have to do annually is submit to the New Jersey State Police, or excuse me, New Jersey State DEP for our community right to know. We've officially submitted that last week to the state, and we basically have done everything that they require as far as all of our township facilities are concerned, and our hazardous material inventories, or any type of chemicals that we use. That's all been inventory with the assistance of J.A. Montgomery, which is an outside vendor that we use, and submitted to the state. This time it's actually due July 15th of every year, and we just submitted it early. The other thing, we're going to be involved on Township Emergency Management is going to be involved in an exercise which will be conducted on June 20th. In conjunction with the Cape May County Office of Emergency Management, the American Aerospace Technologies, Verizon, and New Jersey Institute of Technology. The exercise is going to utilize unmanned aircraft systems, or drones as they're commonly known, to facilitate the first responders during a catastrophic emergency that could potentially happen here in Cape May County. And with the assistance of Verizon, we're going to be using those drone systems to basically communicate through the drone using Verizon technologies for the first responders. So we're going to, it's going to be it's new technology out there. It's going to be very interesting to see not only that, but also to some of the pre and post needs of these drones with respect to damage assessment and pre-disaster assessments and things like that. As far as beach erosion and things of that sort. So we were asked to participate in it. I happen to be on the board of this exercise committee. I was asked to be on it, and I just wanted to provide you with that information. And that is it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wan?
I have nothing.
No? Daniel?
Nothing at this time, but we have numerous items for closed session. Mostly contract negotiation, the third is litigation matter, safety, security, and personnel.
Okay. Paul?
Thank you. First, I received the call and follow-up regarding the speed bumps on Sunset Drive. Do you remember about, I think it was 2 years ago, the committee approved and Public Works installed a speed bump at the corner or near the intersection of Dawn and South Sunset Drive, Petersburg section. After that was installed, I had a couple residents ask about could we install one at the up along the older part of the front section of Sunset Drive between Manage Road and California Road, where people it's not the people using the Manage Field, it's kind of the residents that use Sunset Acres proper, but they'd like to have a speed hump installed between Manage Field entrance and California Road. They submitted about 9 different property owners along that stretch that were in favor of supporting that. Considering we put that one and the other one, I think it would be appropriate to install one in that vicinity.
You had 9 in favor, how many opposed?
Well, they passed out the petition to all the residents.
Okay.
Obviously, he did get any negative responses. He didn't do it, but what I would look at doing is, if the committee was so inclined, is I would be looking at, because it really affects the people that are really right in front of it, is from a visual standpoint of having the signage as well as the
How much are the speed humps?
You're talking about 4 signs, they're about $150 a piece, and then it's about, the asphalt is not that, probably maybe a couple $100 of asphalt, and then it's probably time for Public Works, probably a 3 or 4 man crew for the day to install.
So, what's the total cost, would you say?
$5,000.
5,000?
You think it's that much? What, you
Well,
said the
labor-
signs
the
were
labor
150?
costs.
If you include
The
all-
labor
if you
costs.
include labor costs and
Have we looked at any other technologies out there?
We did
That's
have,
for
didn't we
speed
have, some, like a synthetic hump
we had
over in
synthetic ones
Strathmere?
over In Strathmere, we
Right.
did those as a test before we started doing the
Right.
bigger ones. They're not, I don't think as
Durable?
Durable.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I drove through the city of Philadelphia the other day, and they were the ones that you bolt to the street. So, I mean, durability, I'm sure city of Philadelphia probably tests them out pretty good.
They don't
Just-
plow the
just look-
streets like we
just
do.
Just to look at the cost, see what it would be.
We can get an updated cost
Yeah.
of what those rubberized plastic ones are, and do a cost comparison.
So, we can look at both, but anybody, looking to do a motion to
I'd
go
like to make
forward
a-
with this? And Paul will talk to the neighbors, in the area before anything's done.
I'll
I'd
make-
say we can re-agendize this for the next meeting for unfinished business, but I think we should give him some pathway to move
Yeah.
forward.
I'll make a motion in favor. It's the approximate vicinity of Bandus Field and all that. It's a no-brainer.
I second that.
Okay?
It's definitely a need there.
And I'll get you a cost comparison between.
And another avenue to take also is, I don't know if the sheriff's department would provide the service, if the state police would provide the service, but a lot of it has to do with perception of vehicles traveling at a high rate of speed in an area where you have the ability to put counters out there, and you can gauge to see what the speeds are within those areas. So that's something else we should be looking into, to try to come up with the data to prove that we do have a speed problem in the area before we go ahead and start putting speed bumps out. That's something to keep in the back of your mind.
All right, is there any further discussion? We have a first and a second. If there's not, would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And then, the last thing I just wanted to re-update the committee on the boat ramp. I know we discussed it at the last meeting and concerned about the contractor's progress. That Friday after that meeting 2 weeks ago, the ramp parking area was graded off to be used, to utilize. Last week, the contractor did mobilize a piece of equipment in there to bring sand in to start the plantings. And he did, keep this trailer there, was utilized one parking space. The plants were planted last week in the lower tidal section, and then he's picking up the next section of plants tomorrow. And by probably the end of this week, that next layer of plants will be completed.
So they have cleared the area. When will the stones or whatever we're
The
using?
stones, I'm sorry, the stones were completed this afternoon.
Good, okay. Because I went by there over the weekend and it hadn't been done, so if it was done today, that's good.
The stones were finished up and delivered today, and the big loader was taken out, so the only thing they have parked there is the one trailer, utility box trailer, for their supplies for planting plants this week.
Okay.
Mayor, if I could add something to Taylor Avenue, we're still keeping an eye on that. We just regraded that this morning, that road, that section of road there. Also too, at low tide, we're gonna be looking at, there's a problem there at the end of that ramp. And if there's actually a hole that's been created, they're gonna put some trap rock in there at low tide to finish up. So we're acknowledging that ramp as well. We're gonna keep an eye on that.
Okay,
That's all I had this evening, thank you.
all right. Ms. Barbara,
I have nothing this evening.
okay. Mr. Coggins,
Very briefly, we did have a meeting of the Economic Development Committee. That took place on Monday the 5th. Some of the things, Mr. Jim Rutella who is a grant coordinator, joined the meeting and gave us some ideas about some of the funds that are available for infrastructure projects. And some of those funds, not necessarily all-inclusive, but include the Trump Infrastructure Fund for things like sewer conversions and sewer connections, the environmental projects, the next environmental projects coming through from the Corps of Engineer. They're in the process of assembling a 50-year plan for bayfront improvements, which includes anything from bulkhead construction, bulkhead improvements, marina construction, things like that, which may be, grant money that would be available should we seek it out. The DEP currently in Jersey has about $10 million left of unclaimed money for regional enhancement left over from Sandy. And there's also some USDA grants available. What's going to happen from the committee in the upcoming months is going to be a public meeting to discuss the vision plan, some of the things that we're looking at doing for making improvements to the township. We're going to see if we can determine what the public sentiment is, and then from there we'll go on to more of a concept development phase where we'll start putting some applications in for some of this grant money.
Okay, great. Good to hear.
And that was it on my end.
All right, a few things. 4th of July, again, we'll be on the 4th of July. Festivities will start at 4 o'clock. The fields will be opened up at 3 o'clock. And Jay, I think we're having a meeting Wednesday at 10:30 to try to put together the whole response package and as far as security and everything else for that. The one issue, Scott, is to make sure where we're going to shoot these fireworks off at is graded and ready for these guys. I'm not sure what the terrain looks like.
And I've got Roy's gonna be at that
Okay.
meeting as well.
All right. The other thing I have is baseball fields were kind of at a standstill again. And we've made very little progress at any area out there in the last month. We have a few guys that are using it for some practices, but as far as being prepared for fall ball, we're a long way off. There's a lot of topsoil that needs to be done, more seeding needs to be done. And it seems that the guys are being pulled off of it to go everywhere else but there. And at this point, I don't think we're going to be ready even for fall ball. And we'll be ready if we are. It's going to be halfway. And I don't want to make that presentation for a grand opening of that facility to have surrounding areas look the way that they do. I'm not sure what we have to do with it, but I know that, guys are taking vacations but again, John's been pulled off of it numerous times. And it seems like we're not getting any extra help out there to try to get this facility open. So whatever we can do with that to expedite it, I'd really appreciate it. Also, the scoreboard that we ordered for the Little League field does not have pitch count. And to run tournaments now, you need pitch count on your scoreboards. So we're going to have to look if we can get an adapter for that, or possibly switch that sign over to the third Little League field.
Who ordered it?
Dwayne and Paul. Oh, Dwayne did? I don't know. But
You just found out.
it did not come through with pitch count in the Little League now. I'm not sure it's mandatory, but they're really strict now on how many pitches that each pitcher throws, and the opposing team has to be made aware of how many per inning. So that's why it's so important for it to be up there.
Did we have a spec to order this thing with?
I'm not sure. I know that they looked at 2 or 3 different companies. They ordered, they had 2 or 3 different specs come back. I'm not sure why the pitch count was not picked up on this. I never saw the final sign that was ordered. So, the baseball brought that to my attention. So, that's where we are out there. And again, you're gonna have fall ball starting at the end of August. And was really hoping to be able to move baseball to that facility finally. Because football will also be starting in Conwell in August, which then we have to double up on the field areas, and football's out there 5 nights a week at that point. So, also leads me to the area around Conwell refreshment stand. Paul, any idea on paving, when we're gonna get that paved?
I'm just waiting to get the final green light from Public Works that the grading was finalized. I talked to Public Works, they thought they were pretty close and had it down there. But I did see some emails between you and Scott, I think this afternoon.
And again, I haven't been, kept abreast of it, so I'm not sure. I was out there today again, and it looks like the paved area has been graded. What I'd like to try to do is get the irrigation in front of that refreshment stand so we can get topsoil and get it seeded. Again, football starts August. So if we're gonna wait till August to get the irrigation, get the topsoil in, get it seeded, we're gonna have an absolute nightmare out there with kids running all over the place.
Well, we've almost missed our seating.
Well, we have, and once again, we've got a recreation area that's tore apart and partially graded. We've done some grade work to try to help the drainage, and I went out today, and that hasn't been completed either. We have a tournament coming up, and we're gonna have to get that final graded because it's definitely a trip hazard for these kids. When I talked to the guys, are telling me again it's a manpower issue between cutting grass and trying to get everything done and ready. And the lacrosse tournament, it's a manpower issue. We're down to 4 or 5 guys doing the work that 11 we're doing, and we probably went 10 times higher on the amount of use we're using on the fields at this point than we did 10 years ago. Can't keep up with it. And the fields are starting to look deteriorated, the fencing is deteriorated, and I'm not sure what we're gonna do about it, but we're going backwards with recreation at this point as far as I'm concerned. And it comes down to manpower. Something we have to think about. Final thing I had on this was a couple years ago, we talked about special needs swings being installed in all the playgrounds. We only had one, and that was at Conwell Park. We ordered 6 swings. They have been on the shelf for over 1.5 years and never installed. We are so far out of compliance with ADA standards, it's ridiculous. And I asked them again, why? Well, we have to put mulch down, and there's a million excuses of why we're not putting them up. I don't know what one has to do with the other.
I just would want to note, just for the record, all the playgrounds are in compliance with the ADA requirements. They have the appropriate number of ADA apparatus that's required under the regulation.
With the exception of the swing.
But you're not required to have ADA swing. I agree that we were making.
I disagree with that. I looked into it, Paul. It's a requirement as of now.
Well, the law allows existing, and then it says a percentage. What he's telling you is that we have the required percentages under law. Is it appropriate? Should there be more? That may be,
And I would agree
I
with
don't know what we have, but I'm assuming that.
We have one handicap swing at about 17 playgrounds.
I understand that, but we will have other apparatus. In other words, you have other equipment that is handicapped.
Again,
accessible.
they're sitting there for a year and a half. I'd like to
That's
see them.
But what he's trying to do is say to you, we're not out of compliance.
Well, that's fine.
But-
Maybe I misspoke on that one, but
And I just want
in
to
my eyes, we have not met what we should do.
And I just wanted, for the record, that we are in compliance. I
Right.
agree with you that it's good to add some of those additional apparatus, but as far as compliance with the ADA.
I know I've had 3 or 4 phone calls from people with special needs children, and they've asked me, and that's why we brought it up 2 years ago. And I'm getting frustrated with work not being completed when we've already got the stuff sitting on the shelf. So I'm not sure what we can do with it, but we're not gonna do it with the manpower we have.
And that's why we're gonna be proposing something in closed session this evening.
I appreciate that. Not to air dirty laundry, but
You have.
I have, and that's the way that it is, so I'm done.
Nothing to report, sir.
That's good.
Nothing at this time, Mr. Mayor.
All right, I just have a couple things. One, we had lifeguards tryouts this past Saturday, and we had 7 openings, so There were a number of people that tried out, and I have a list of the names, so I'm gonna make a motion that we hire, the rookie lifeguards, Gregory O'Connor, Sean Buckland, Spencer Hill, Sam Langana, Kelly McCullough Beatty, Jane Hadley, and Nathaniel Young, to our squad. And they'll start as of Saturday because they'll have, their rookie school that takes a week of training, so that they're eligible to be on the stands by the time we hit July 4th.
I'll second.
They are subject to the stream.
They're subject to the training, they're subject to, background checks and everything else that we require for employees, so.
Richard Nathaniel, Danny Young's board leader.
I don't know.
I'm not sure, he might be my cousin, that's why I'm asking.
Well, I would
I'll
suggest you
abstain
recuse
from the vote,
yourself just to be clear,
just-
right? There's a lot of Youngs.
I know.
He's related to the alumni.
All right, so we have a first and a second. Would you call the roll? Oh, Ed seconds it.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes. Oh, abstain, sorry.
Mayor
Just
Palumbo?
in case.
I
Yes.
thought first.
Motion carried.
I have some sad news. Friday, Charlie Adelizi passed away. And if you'll recall at the last meeting, I said that no one dedicates themselves to our veterans during memorial services than Charlie Adelizi did. So I think it would be really appropriate. I mean, he had been to, I've done 20 years of the Memorial Day walk-arounds to the cemeteries. He's always there. He's been there way before 20 years. He's always at Veterans Day services. If there's besides Memorial Day, if there's Flag Day or anything else associated with veterans, Charlie was there. So I'd like to see us do a resolution in his honor, for the next meeting. We'll get some details from his wife Diana, and, for the amount of years that he served the township and served he's a member of he was a commander of the VFW, but he worked very closely with the American Legion as well. So, I think it's fitting that we honor him, so.
I will second that.
Just call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And for those of you that don't know, we now have a new media person for the Gazette. Jack is sitting in front. Colin Higgins, with many years of service, has moved on. He's taking on a position as a PR person, I believe, with the FAA. So he also has really worked hard in covering the township. I think out of all the years that I've been here, he has served probably the longest of anyone that I recall. So I thought that it would be nice to at least honor him. He's a township resident. For his, not service to the community, maybe that's not the right word, because I think he was very non-biased, but I would say he was very fair.
The service he provided for us.
Okay. That's good wordsmithing. Yes.
I'll second that.
So I think it's fitting that we do that as well. So Hobie
Second
will
that.
second that.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, so welcome to you, Jack, and continued welcome to Kristen and our other folks on your service in at least providing information about the Township Committee meetings, so.
Mayor, I have one thing I need to put on.
Sure.
Make a motion for. Last meeting, made a motion to hire 2 part-time public work employees, pending the qualifications. We have to replace one of the candidates with another candidate. His name is Matthew Kelly, and I would make a motion under the same conditions to hire Matthew Kelly.
Second that.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes,
Motion carried.
all right. Let's move on with the resolutions.
Number 1, honoring Ryan Hogan on attaining the designation of Eagle Scout.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Let's call the roll.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Move the resolution.
Second?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried. Appointment of Edward Klein, Robert Young, and Raylan Armstrong as truck driver heavy in the Upper Township Public Works Department.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carries. Authorizing the execution of an NJDP TWA1 application statements of consent form regarding 10 East Winthrop Avenue, Strathmere, Block 853, Lot 5.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Paul, same as our typical thing that we do so that they can fulfill their need for their
Yes.
wastewater treatment center.
And we basically, we're
Thank you.
redoing the ordinance, the proposed structure meets the township ordinances and their proposed plot plan. The structure is going to be located in such that it will be conforming to zoning, and it is in a conforming zone.
Okay? Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried. Number 5, appointing James Heilman as a seasonal employee to the Upper Township Public Works Department.
Move the resolution.
Before you act on this one, sorry about the interruption. Just want to, the agenda and the resolution was amended pursuant to Mr. Barr's comments earlier to indicate the person that is being appointed tonight.
Okay? Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried. Number 6, renewal of alcohol beverage licenses for the license year 2017.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried. Number 7, Chapter 159 resolution for the insertion of a special item of revenue in the 2017 budget that was not determined at the time of the adoption of the budget. State of New Jersey 2017 Clean Communities Grant in the amount of $37,000, I'm sorry, $37,904.66.
Move the resolution.
Second.
So this is a pretty good bump from what we've had in the past, right?
It's actually down a little bit from last year. Last year, we had a very large amount. But this is a little bit higher than what we've had in prior years, with the exception of last year.
Okay. We'll always take a almost $38,000 grant. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried. Releasing the maintenance guarantee of Cedar Villas, Inc. for the major subdivision known as Extension of Megan Lane.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes, but I'd like to hear the comments from Paul.
Oh, wait, let's take the roll and then, because we're already started in the middle of it.
Sorry.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Go ahead, Paul.
Thank you. This is a normal procedure we do after a developer proposes to get a subdivision for a new street. The proposed improvements are constructed and under a performance guarantee. Once all the work is completed, he then converts that from a performance guarantee to a 2-year maintenance guarantee, in which time, it's fully accepted by the township. I did speak with Roy regarding the overall maintenance and if there's any issues out there. Both he and myself have inspected the road and the drainage and the various improvements that were constructed. Everything is still functioning fine, and there's no issues out there. And so at this point, the township would fully accept the road and release the maintenance back to the developer.
Okay, is that good, satisfactory? No, I mean, we could have revoted, I apologize for that, usually someone. Go ahead.
Number 9, authorizing a notice of violation and abatement of nuisance pursuant to Township Code Section 11-1.
Move the resolution?
Second.
Dan, you just want to tell us what this is?
This is pursuant to our township ordinances, and what it essentially does is it puts the property owner on notice that they have a nuisance and potential health hazard or fire hazard at their property. There are a number of properties listed, you can see that in the addendum, and if they do not abate it, the township is authorized to abate it and charge it back as a tax lien against the property cost of abatement.
Okay. Would you call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried. Number 10, authorizing the chief financial officer to withdraw funds in the amount of $1,790.94 from the account titled Recycling Trust Account to pay for recycling collection supplies.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried. Under new business, the ALS Association Greater Philadelphia Chapter requests to hold their annual express bike ride on June 17th, 2017.
So they've done all
Fill
the
out the
proper
app?
paperwork.
Yeah, they
as
have,
far as-
it's there.
Everything's, yes.
Okay.
Meet all the requirements?
Yes, it's using, it goes through many municipalities and it uses a section of our rules.
Make a motion to
They've done
approve.
it before.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And the reason why there was a little stir there, Mr. Corson doesn't normally support bike, bike rides or through the township, so.
I would donate money if they had a bikeless bike ride, stayed off the road.
I think you've come a long way, my friend.
Number 12, Boy Scout Troop 95 requests use of Amanda's Field on July 4th for an overnight camping event.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr.
Okay.
Barr? Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
And I'd just like to add to that, that they're, you know, a great help to what we do out there. They stay the next day, they do a skirmish line, picking up trash, straightening up the place, so it's a pretty nice thing for them to be involved with it. And I think it counts towards some of their Eagle Scout, so,
I'm sure they get a merit badge for it, yeah.
yeah.
Number 13, application for a temporary liquor license permit.
I'll just comment on this, the resolution earlier tonight, renewing the liquor licenses, didn't have one of our local license holders. They still have to get, I believe, tax clearance from the Division of Taxation, and the license can't be renewed without that. This, if you authorize this interim temporary license permit, they'll get it through the state, and we won't have to have a special meeting, so they can continue operating after the end of the month. So we've done that last year for the bars.
So is it, are we gonna make a resolution in this, to this effect? Are we approving?
Motion is second, authorizing the clerk to process the application if needed.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried. Number 14, under unfinished business, appraisal for the sale of township-owned property, Block 11, Lot 4.04.
I should probably talk about this a little bit before, I believe Mr. Bixby might be here, to let what it is. This is the same matter that we dealt with last meeting. You had directed that the information that was provided by the property owner be forwarded to the appraiser to get a determination as to whether or not he feels his appraisal should be changed. To give you background again on it, Mr. Bixby asked to buy property somewhat adjacent to his land. Our policy and procedure is that we would set a minimum bid if you were willing to do that. In the past, you indicated we would sell the property as long as it wasn't used for a residential building lot and would be incorporated into his current use. His is a little different because he would have to probably get some type of site plan approval to use it for his required use. It might even require a use variance, I believe, Paul, correct? I'm not sure. But bottom line is that's not an issue in front of you at this point. The appraiser came in with a value at, and this is for purposes of setting the minimum bid, of $69,000, I'm sorry. That was without the information, but apparently that information that was provided by Mr. Bixby was environmental restrictions, but it was on adjacent property. The appraiser's response after the clerk's office sent him the information that Mr. Bixby requested to be included in the determination of value was that he didn't feel it impacted his own neighborhood based on says 69,000, and the assessor, it's an art to determine the value of property, of 59.5. If you're gonna go forward, you have to set a minimum bid, price. In other words, if there's only one bidder, you sell it, beyond what its value, the fiduciary duty to the taxpayers. At this point, since he's here, I would open it up and allow Mr. Bixby to talk before you make any decisions.
That's fine, but before I do that, this is a buildable lot, right?
It meets minimum zoning requirements, and, the report that Mr. Bixby has, some of those environmental characteristics occur on this. There's obviously wetlands on this lot. The pinelands, because this is in the pinelands area, will make it difficult. We'd probably have to spend a substantial amount of money on environmental assessment, environmental studies to verify if there are any threatened endangered species in the upland area. But I think ultimately, if somebody wanted to build on that and put a house there, probably could, but it would just take you a lot of time and additional cost, upwards of $25,000 to do those studies to get that permit.
All right, Mr. Bixby, you want to come up to the podium and? Yep.
Yeah, what I have here, and I'd like to leave.
You know what, can you, because we're filming, for the
Yes.
record, can you state your full name and your address, please?
Edward Bixby, 327 Marshallville Road, Marshallville, New Jersey. What I did was I put 6 packets together for all the committeemen, and I'd like you to take a look at this, maybe in your closed session, to make a determination.
It's not a closed session item, it would be open session.
Oh, okay, I mean,
You
shall
gonna
I
do-
distribute this, or?
What you're submitting.
Okay, what I'm giving you is some exhibits showing the property, showing the environmental report, or work that I had done on the adjacent property, and all the findings. I've been a real estate broker for 20 years. I'm not new to this game. I absolutely 100% do not agree with his appraisal. He did not even mention any type of environmental constraints or wetland issues. Everything that I've put together clearly shows that there's actually, that property actually was flagged when I flagged my property.
Your information that you provided to the clerk's office was provided to the township committee. So
Right.
that's essentially what you're handing out.
Were they given the,
They were given the environmental.
they were given the environmental report, they were given the environmental work from Janetta Dix showing that the subject property had been,
To the clerk's office, they were provided copies of it.
well, I would like to still distribute this to them. Yeah, okay. Irregardless, I also have 3 other comps that are attached to this that have happened after this gentleman's appraisal, which are substantially lower, which were buildable lots that were actually buildable. So,
Maybe I should explain the process by under
Sure,
the law. to sell
absolutely.
adjacent
I
property.
understand. Go.
It can be done by an ordinance, they have to set a minimum bid, it has to be, okay?
I
They
understand.
set the minimum bid, what they're willing to sell for at a minimum price, and then anybody in the area, or anybody, in your case, I believe, it might be public bid, because the size of the lot is called a lot, so it's gonna have to be a public bid. So their purpose right now is narrow, it's really just to set the minimum bid, and then any, public bid, any bid above that will be where the
I-
contract is submitted.
Right.
Comply with the conditions in the bid. The key question is if the township committee feels, because the assessor agreed that there's environmental constraints on it, but still felt to some degree it would be buildable, her value is set at 59.5. Is that acceptable to you? or No.
No, it's not, because I spoke to Megan about that.
They set a minimum bid. and
I understand.
Tell them
No.
tonight, if you set
It's,
a minimum bid
well, this,
above amount,
well, yeah,
let me finish, please.
okay, yeah,
If you
go
set
ahead,
a
finish.
minimum bid above this amount,
Yeah.
I'm gonna withdraw my request to purchase it, they may
Right.
not go forward, we should
I-
really do an ordinance for somebody who doesn't wanna buy it.
Right, I absolutely understand. My issue is that this is being represented incorrectly. The property absolutely is not a buildable lot. It cannot meet any of the requirements, so it's not, he's not presenting the proper value. If it was a buildable lot, I would not be in disagreement. I'm absolutely disagreeing because the appraisal's done incorrectly. He's not taking in account any of this, and that's the issue. I even said to Mr. Dietrich that I would actually have my own money send my own engineer to do the work for you.
Mr. Bernardo is also our assessor.
No, okay.
Who feels that it's worth at least $59,500.
I've spoken to Megan about that. Megan did that report prior to knowing any of these environmental constraints. I spoke to her on the phone last Friday, and she would attest to that if you spoke to her.
I talked to her since then.
Okay.
I respectfully disagree.
Okay, absolutely.
She stood by that value.
Well, okay, if that's what she told you, that's not what she told me. What I'm here to do is give this to these gentlemen. They can make up their minds. I'm trying to present something to the community for more recreational use. I'm not building a home. I'm adding to my trail system. If the township doesn't want to sell it, that's perfectly fine. No one will be able to build there anyway, so it doesn't matter. I want to be able to pay a fair market value for it, not for a buildable lot, and it's not a buildable lot. This is what I do for a living. I understand what you do for a living. I know it's not a buildable lot, so that's just the way it is.
So what do you think the lot's worth?
It has to go by what wetlands and uplands values are. And if it is unbuildable, most certainly you cannot charge me for wetlands for the same as uplands that's buildable land. I mean, it's probably worth about $20,000 to $15,000, $1,500 an acre. 50 acres just sold down the street. 50 acres just sold down the street to Green Acres for $1,500 an acre.
That's true wetlands, according to our assessor and according to, and the appraiser doesn't necessarily disagree with this. He has a different calculation on the value. There is 1.6 acres of wetlands based upon soil maps and the data that they have available. The problem is the data that you produced was for the adjoining parcel, not this parcel. And we don't have direct data for this parcel. But based upon the available data, according to both the assessor and the appraiser, there is enough uplands to build. Granted, you would have to get the approvals and the studies done, similar to what you did on the adjoining property, to be able to prove that, yes, there's buildable land there. So,
Let me ask a question. Let's think a little bit outside the box. You're looking to use this property for passive recreation.
Yes.
Would you be interested in, obviously, our professionals and your are way apart on
Absolutely.
minimal bid.
Right.
Would you be interested in a long-term lease?
Possibly, sure, possibly. I mean, you know, I've kicked that around, but
you're still gonna have to arrive at a value that's gonna be based on leasing a land that's worth X amount of dollars. You still have to look into it on a land value. You can't, he's gonna have to pay what would the rent be for something that's either $50,000 or $60,000, $60,000 or $70,000, depending upon the appraisals. You're gonna have to come up with a rent value.
First and foremost, again, I have to reiterate that the appraisal, in my opinion, is not right. That's my opinion. It's absolutely not correct. Absolutely not correct. But with that being said, I'm buying this for township recreational use. I mean, I would be willing to rent it, to put a trail in, to link up to the state forest, to add 2 miles of trails. So I'm paying to allow the township citizens to use it on a daily basis. That's what I do now. I have 3 miles of trails. So I'm not really sure. I mean, I would consider doing it, but I'm doing that out of my own good faith. That's what I mean. Like, I'm coming here, I want to buy it, I want to extend the trail system so the community can use it, and I'm willing to pay a fair market value, but I don't want to
We have
overpay.
nothing from a professional indicating what fair market value is other than the appraisal that was obtained and the assessor. I understand your concerns that this property has unique characteristics, but there's no professional report on this property with respect to its unique characteristics, and there's no appraisal report that reflects those characteristics. So
Right.
they don't have the ability to actually reduce the value because there's no professional data.
And,
telling them that.
and I'd be willing to pay for that report. I mean, I have the Cape May County planning maps here that it's Hamilton soils. You have to have 5 foot to seasonal high groundwater. Paul knows that for a septic system.
That would be different if you had other data.
I have all the
that showed
data
you
right here.
value. That would be different.
I have it
Dan,
here in my
How
possession.
about deed restricted? Is that a possibility?
Absolutely. I don't care about any restrictions.
Deed restricted.
Yeah, but they can deed restricted to recreational use only and no
Right.
development.
But if it's a buildable lot, you've given away a buildable lot That's.
I mean, we have-
But I mean, we're talking about, it's a buildable lot, but there's a bunch of hoops that you gotta jump through to get it to be a buildable lot.
Except for that we have a fiscal responsibility to the township.
Well, I understand that,
And,
but.
and it would be no different than, we have residents that own a lot in front of their property, and they have a buildable lot, and they choose not to build on it because they wanna, use it for their own purposes, aesthetic
And
purposes, so.
I'm confused, I guess. My understanding, and I'm not sure if it was in your initial request or not, but you were gonna use it for a natural cemetery.
No, it's to add to my trail system. It adjoins my property. There was a misconception in the newspaper article that there was no access to this property, which there's clearly access from Steel and Town Road. I already have a point of access. If you look at the actual plot plan, my property touches that property, and that would be the point of access. I would,
Your
what's that?
application says, reason for purchase of the property, to extend my cemetery trail system that is used by the public.
Absolutely.
So it's not part of your cemetery?
To extend my trail system from my existing
But it's not gonna be
cemetery.
part of the cemetery.
Well, it's going to belong to the cemetery. It's going to belong to the cemetery. I mean, because that's who would take title. So,
Would it be tax exempt?
of course, because all cemetery lands are tax exempt.
So it's part of the cemetery, whether they bury bodies there or whatever, it's still part of the cemetery.
But, knowing a little bit about cemetery law, you can actually build a caretaker's cottage on the cemetery property, so it could be built on the cemetery.
It could be, but this property is not buildable. It's irregardless. I mean, what we've done here in Upper Township, there's only one, this is one of 12 facilities in the entire country that exist like this. This is like a gem. It's pretty amazing that we have this in this area. I want to give back to the community. I want to extend the trail system in partnership with the Belle Plaine State Forest, as I am in now. I would add over 2 miles of trails by acquiring this property to get to a woods road. If the township doesn't want to sell it, that's perfectly fine. I understand what everybody's position is, but I'm telling you, I had told Mr. Dietrich I would pay Schaefer and Scheiding and Nasser to go out and do the necessary work to show you guys that it's absolutely unbuildable.
Let's put it this way, we're not using your appraisal. I'd be willing to have a second appraisal done based on some of the, if you're willing to
Yes.
pay for it. But we're not gonna use your appraisal, because that could be biased.
He was talking about his engineering firm.
My engineering
To
firm.
do a wetlands delineation and.
And that is a concern, because there are no direct environmental studies on that property that maybe impact an appraisal.
Normally,
Well,
plotting is
if the
300.
appraiser has to go by the same soil map that our assessor goes by and that Mr. Bernardo went by, your values aren't gonna change much.
And I have
Getting
that.
another appraisal is not gonna help you. And
Oh,
just,
God.
Joanne just pointed out to me, because in the initial documentation, it does show, and perhaps you'd be interested in this, 42,800 is the current assessment on that lot.
Can I make one statement? The soils map, I have it right here from the county. It's Hamilton soils, 1.5 to 4 foot seasonal high. You need 5 to build a septic system.
But you can't get a waiver of strict compliance
$30,000.
and pay, you're paying that environmental impact, so you can get a permit.
There's been no wetlands delineation or buffer set.
I mean, there's,
And we don't know. I mean, normally pine lands is a 300-foot
Yes.
wetlands buffer.
Is there no uplands on it? Is that character, can you vouch for the fact that entire parcel, the distance to groundwater is that or smaller? You don't know that, right? We don't know that yet.
I would agree that in the Hamilton soils, you're most likely gonna require a waiver of strict compliance
Okay.
to receive your approvals. But it's just gonna take you time and engineering costs and environmental studies to get it.
And there's one more thing that I'd like to bring to everybody's attention concerning that property.
Wetlands.
And I don't know, the one thing that I wanted to give the committee was with Junetta Dix's report showing the wetlands on the adjacent parcel that the township owns across the street. You have to maintain that 300-foot wetlands buffer, and there's, that vernal swamp drains across on the township property I'm looking at, and she has it clearly designated as wetlands. If you do 300, 300, 300, 300, 300, there's nothing left, and that's the discussions that we had in the
That's
past.
where I was going with the 300-foot buffer question. You know, without that delineation being done, we can't, I don't think we can set a value. That's going to determine the value.
don't know that.
I know.
mean, we have representations,
But
but
I mean,
I
who-
wouldn't
but
base a
who-
value on
Well,
representation.
Mr. Bixby was saying that he would pay to have that delineation done by his engineer to prove, that it's not buildable. If he doesn't do it, does that come back to us?
No, you don't have to sell your land. You just have to act
Right, that
reasonably.
was-
Right now, you could act reasonably and not sell it because you have two values that tell you what the minimum bid should be, and he's not willing to accept that, so it wouldn't make sense to go forward.
Why would our assessor have a minimum bid higher than the appraised value?
No, it's the other way around. She is at 59.5, he's at 69.
What's the
No, but he
appraised
said
value?
the assessed value was 40 something.
Was
Her
42.
assessment,
Assessment.
the assessment, why does she have value higher? Because they're not always accurate, and there's township plans, so it probably didn't get looked at. But that value, when I pointed that out, is to show you that when the rebound company did it, they didn't think it was wetlands unbuildable. Because it wouldn't have had that high value. Because they do go through and they can assess when they know it's wetlands, the $1,500 an acre, you're accurate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I just wanted to come in and talk to the committee about this. I had all the work done. I know it's across the street, but it's right there across the street. I mean, what I have doesn't lie with the environmental species and everything else that are going on there. It is what it is. I mean, I want to add recreation to the township, but I want to pay a reasonable number based upon what it's worth. It's not a buildable lot. I can prove that if the committee would like me to do that, but otherwise, I guess I have nothing else to say.
If we were to move forward this, he was to have some engineering study done, and then we get another appraisal based on his information, would that be a more accurate, that would reflect a more
Well,
accurate
you
number
can
of
get
his
other
property?
opinions, and you can get the other information. I'll probably have it reviewed by Paul to see whether or not it's scientifically reasonable. But on the other hand, it's all gonna be an opinion, and you're gonna have to do something, because right now, you're not gonna go forward, because the values that your professionals have told you are higher than the person that's asking to buy the property said he's willing to pay. So either you drop that matter now, or you allow him, frankly, to spend his money to try and prove more information to you. So that's your
Yeah.
choice right now.
Yeah, I'm willing to spend it because I know what it is.
He needs our approval to go forward with his
No,
professional.
he does. He's asking you, will you consider it if I go out and do this?
Well, I mean,
Yes.
it's-
Well, I think this committee would have to get
It's our
authorization
property.
to access the property.
Right.
Yes.
Have his agents access the
Yes.
property
Yes.
and make whatever application if he wants to submit something to the Pinelands.
And then, after that work was done, what would happen is we'd have to get another appraisal based on the information that you provide the appraisers.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's why I'm standing here. I'm not,
And I would suggest that before you go out and get a professional, that the committee, at least, be given the name of your professionals to say they have no objection to you using this professional opinion. Because Paul and I can review it and give them a comment.
Dan, unless it's an independent engineer, I don't think that I would be inclined to approve it.
We just want to do a minimal review of professional qualifications. There are a handful of local firms that do that kind of stuff.
Paul, is it really, with a licensed engineer going out there and doing delineation, I mean, they have to do it by the law, correct?
Well, yes. And
But-
ultimately, if they submit it to the Pinelands,
I mean, I don't want his guy doing the appraisal,
ultimately.
but I don't have a problem with his guys doing
We're
delineations.
looking for an opinion, not applications necessarily.
Yeah.
Well, it's subject to, I mean, you go out there when you flag a wetland line, it can waive one couple feet each way. That being said, usually the DEP reviews it on an application, or the Pinelands Commission, and it is subject to interpretation, and sometimes they do move.
To a point, absolutely.
But I wouldn't say they're moving hundreds of feet.
No. My thing is, actually, we shouldn't use his appraiser, but I think he should be allowed to use the engineer that he's probably gonna get a better cost factor out of, to prove his point. And then have an independent appraiser look at it again.
And you may want, and this is the other thing, if they move forward, they may say, look, we want to get our own environmental consultant to confirm that is accurate. So you may want that reviewed as well, if it's beyond the scope of what Paul can do.
Yeah.
Because somebody's got to give an opinion from your point of view, because frankly, these type of situations are fraught with subjective opinions as to what can be achieved and what can't be. There are some that are clearly not, no, we can't do it.
Ed, who do you use for an engineering survey?
Schaefer, Scheidegger, Nasser, out of Mays Landing.
I've heard nothing but great out of them. I mean,
They're reputable.
again, I'm just, you know, I know the parcel pretty well. I've hunted over the years. On a personal basis on it, knowing the property, I'm, you know, leaning towards it. There's no buildable land on there by the time you hit the 300-foot buffers. And
Well, I still say we have a fiscal responsibility to the
Oh, we do.
township to get the amount, the proper amount, because once we sell the property, it's not like we're gonna be making taxes moving forward, because it's going to be part of a continual of a cemetery
Right.
where taxes are not required to be paid. And because of that, we have a responsibility to ensure that, and maybe 15 or 20,000 is the right number, but until we know that for a fact, well, I don't think we can move forward until we have proof that that's the case.
but can we give approval to Mr. Bixby to move forward with his own?
I don't think we need to move forward. We'll give him permission to go on the township property.
Not for us to move
Consider
forward
it
for
if I
him.
go do that. If you say, no, I'm not gonna look at anything further, I think that is an answer.
Right.
But right now, it's up to him. If he wants to do that, we'll respond to it.
I mean, I certainly would be willing to look what is provided.
I don't know what you're giving an approval of, frankly, because you don't have anything.
No, but we have to give him permission to go on that property.
That part you would have to do,
That's,
yes.
maybe approval's the wrong word.
That
We have to give him permission,
Yes.
I
I thought you were
really
talking about the
want to
transaction.
go on that property.
Yes,
I would like to make a motion, we authorize
with the proper indemnifications.
Mr. Bixby's professionals to move forward, look at this property, to help us make a better determination of its value.
Second.
Before they request access, they should probably contact Paul's office.
That's fine.
And get something drawn up so that if somebody was involved
Yeah.
or whatever.
That's fine. I'm going to meet with him on Thursday about it, and then I'll have contact Paul. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
And okay, I'm sorry.
Want to call the roll?
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
I'm going to abstain, please.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried.
You want
Yeah, may I give this to everyone? Just look at it when you can, because it kind of lays it out a little differently than what was shown.
He's got a 10.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you very much.
thank you. So would someone like to make a motion to pay the bills?
I hereby move that all claims submitted for payment at this meeting be approved and then incorporated into the full minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried.
There are a number of reports from the municipal departments, clerk's office, construction code, finance office, municipal court, MUA report, tax collector. All of those reports will be available upon request tomorrow at the township clerk's office, but I'll make a motion to accept the reports.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Motion carried.
So at this time, we've reached the public comment portion of the meeting. Would anyone like to address the township committee? Now's the time to do so. Well, we have all media up here. So it appears there's no public comment tonight. I'll close the public comment portion of the meeting, and I'll ask Mr. Coggins to read the statement and go into executive session.
I hereby move that a resolution be incorporated into the minutes authorizing the Township Committee to enter into an executive session for the following matters pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Acts. Matter 1 is personnel. Matters 2 through 8 are contract negotiation for architectural services, remediation of Old Town Hall, website services, shared services agreement with Cape May County for fleet maintenance, JIF membership renewal, special legal counsel labor contract, and the telephone contract. Also, there is litigation, Holt versus Upper Township Zoning Board of Adjustment et al., and safety and security. I also include in my motion the estimated time and circumstances under which the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public as follows. It is anticipated that the matters discussed in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon the determination of the Township Committee that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. With respect to employment and personnel matters, such discussions will be made public if and when formal action is taken or when the individuals involved consent that it can be made public. With respect to contract negotiations, such matters will be made public when negotiations have ceased and there is no longer a reason for confidentiality. With respect to litigation matters, such discussions will be made public when litigation is complete and the applicable appeal period has expired.
Second.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Coggins?
Yes.
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Mr. Young?
Yes.
Mayor Palumbo?
Yes.
Carried.
For those two people to the left, have a great evening.